Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Russia. It's round 4 of the EMX two-stroke championship presented by FMF Racing. Here we are on the shores of the Black Sea, about 2,000 kilometers south of Moscow, the country's capital here in Russia. And we are back at Orlyonok. The images you see from the sky in a moment, hopefully you get some kind of perspective as to where we are. We've got the sea to the left, we have the track across the road, and it is a fabulous facility here that we've been coming to now for the 3rd time in a row. An old school circuit, hard packed, gnarly, natchery. There's the track there, the sea is to the right. And as I said, it really is a fabulous location. First up on the menu today on MXGPTV.com is the second of the EMX two-stroke races. The first one was yesterday, and it was won by the Yamaha rider of Todd Kellett. So Kellett looking to go and win another race, or maybe try and at least get on the podium. He was on the podium for the first time a couple of weekends ago in Portugal, where he was 3rd overall. Picked up a 2nd and a 6th that day, but can he make it to the top step? We'll have to wait and see. 25 minutes plus 2 laps, this racetrack here at Orlyonok. A slightly uphill start into a 180 right, and it kinks back around to the left before they hit the finish line area. And then this is probably the longest drag up the hill, and a lot heavier than normal as well. They've obviously re-ripped the track overnight, got some more moisture in it because temperatures nudging 30 degrees this weekend. So doing what they can to combat the hot conditions here today and yesterday. You see the paddock just in the background. We're treating this as it's not a flyaway, but it has that flyaway feel to it. No race trucks, no hospitality units for the teams that we're used to seeing. But this is how the riders go to the line. Andero Luzbo was fastest in time practice yesterday, and his time was a 1:43.01. He was 3/10 quicker than Václav Kovar. Be interesting to see if Kovar lines up today, though, because Kovar came up short on one of the tabletops on the top end of the circuit, and he pulled up immediately, circulated for another couple of laps after that, but it looked like it was either a tweaked wrist or a knee or an ankle, because he had a bit of a jarring landing, unless he did something before that that we didn't see on the takeoff maybe. So hopefully Václav Kovar will line up today. Sadly, just 11 riders making it to this trip this weekend here in the 252-stroke category. And one of those being Russian, and that was Yuri Lukash. He came home in 9th. So the field a little bit depleted to what we're normally used to seeing here this weekend in this particular category. But it's still a race. You only need 2 riders to make a race, apparently, but Andero Luzbo on the A1M Husqvarna, he goes to the line first. The next round for these guys, incidentally, will be at Latvia in a week's time. There's Todd Kellett. Kellett, the winner from race 1 yesterday. Can he do the same today? He literally came through the first turn. Charlie Putnam just going through his rituals there. The RFX KTM rider powered by PAR Homes. Brad Anderson to the left of the box, look, number 1. And he is the new championship leader because Václav Kovar is lining up. So it'd be interesting to see how he's hanging and how he's feeling today after that result yesterday. So race. Andero Luzbo was 2nd, Anderson 3rd. This guy, Mike Krass, was 4th. He held the championship leader's red plate coming into this weekend. Pierre Filippo Bertuzzo was 5th. And then we had Charlie Putnam, Rob Hollyoak, Max Bulow, Yuri Lukash, Francesco Galligari, and Václav Kovar. There is Brad Anderson. He leads now by 1 point over Mike Krass. He is on 138. Mike Krass on 137. Todd Kellett is on 120. Moves up to 3rd. He was 4th coming into this weekend, but because Kovar didn't get the result that he wanted yesterday, he now drops behind the Englishman. The fly race in 15-second board is up for the first time today then, and the second time, the final time of the weekend for the EMX 250 two-stroke riders presented by FMF Racing. Race 2 is about to get underway any moment now. Pierre Filippo Bertuzzo, but it's Anderson from just the right side of the box. The number 1 streaks into the lead, and Mike Krass just there in the fluorescent colours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Mike Crass didn't look like he felt too at home yesterday on this racetrack. And the advantage right now is with Anderson. So they have watered the track, they've ripped the track. Might be stodgy in one or two areas, but actually, at the moment, you can see there's not too much mud being flown up in and around the riders' faces. So maybe almost perfect conditions, but Kellett gets himself into second. Squeezes the 62 there, Vandero Lusbo, who moves into third. And yeah, the track's still looking pretty dry despite the amount of water they put on track overnight. So might need to throw a little bit more on before EMX250, and after the EMX250, MX2 and MXGP warm-ups. Lusbo back into second, gets the drive up the hill, goes back past the Yamaha of Kellett. First three in the race yesterday, Kellett, Lusbo, Anderson. The same three riders at the sharp end right now, Anderson, Lusbo and Kellett. And then Patuzzo just behind, then Crass. Crass knows that he can't afford to let Anderson here, the number one who leads on this opening lap, on that Verdi Substance KTM. Can't afford to let him get too far ahead on what will be a difficult place to overtake. And Crass just getting his elbows out, nudges Patuzzo out the way. Working the way towards the end of this first lap then. And Kellett looking to go early. They fixed the faces on that jump, and he puts the squeeze on the Estonian. Goes around the outside. Saw one or two incidents on the finish line jump yesterday where it was starting to get really hard and slick and rocky on the face. Caught out more than its fair share of riders throughout the day yesterday, but it's Anderson who leads by about a second and a half. He's already over this crest here. Kellett second, Lusbo third, Crass and Pierre Filippo Patuzzo. Václav Kovar is in sixth. Rob Holyoke is in seventh place for ET2 Racing Husqvarna. And then we've got Max Bulow in eighth place, Charlie Putnam 9, Francesco Gallegari and Yuri Lukash. So a little bit like Scare Electric this morning. Riders sticking to the lines, cornering like they're on rails. Perfect traction out on track at the moment, but here's Anderson. He's been closed up now by the 998 of Todd Kellett on that Yamaha. Here is your third place rider on the A1M Husqvarna, Andero Lusbo. Made it on the podium last year, which Anderson was the overall winner. Lusbo was second. Kovar was third overall. Kovar's not going to make the podium this weekend, though. After that first lap, it's going to be Kellett on 47, Anderson 45, Lusbo on 42. But again, that can change. And also, closing in on these guys is Mike Crass. So the EcoMax Fuels KTM rider there has got himself right back into contention. And he's looking like he's going to be a real threat in the next 21 and a half minutes or so. Nothing to separate, and a mistake there from Lusbo. That hands a lifeline to Crass. He goes to the inside, but he's got to go single, single, double. Kellett, the fastest rider on track, a 1:43.8. That's the fastest lap of the race. The only rider to dip into the 1:43s. In fact, Crass, the second fastest rider that time around, a 1:44.5. So everyone else at least a 45, including Anderson and Lusbo. So here's what happened to Andero Lusbo just a moment ago. A couple of corners before the finish. Kellett had a bit of a bobble, so too did Lusbo. Quickly got himself back into the mix, but Crass wasn't able to get through there. Single, single, single. And here we are, back again with the leaders. Brad, the Bulldog Anderson. Oh, slight overjump there from Todd Kellett. Those three tabletops is a mixture of distances. The first one, the Monster Energy one, is about 18 meters. The middle one is about 12 meters, and then the last one, the city one, is 24, 25, something like that. So you're on the gas, off the gas, on the gas. But look at that. Anderson almost getting caught there by Kellett. Kellett feels he can go 1-1 here. Took his first ever race win yesterday. He feels that he's in line for a double victory. Spins up on the takeoff though. Fresh water on the ground there, and it is hard and slick underneath the rubber on that part of the racetrack. That mistake has allowed the 62 of Lusbo to get in. He bounces short on the landing. The top 4 riders in this championship locked together. So this is Kellett just almost getting a little bit too close there to Anderson. And again, everybody locked together. 2 seconds separate the top 4 riders as they came over the line that time around. This is a bit more like it. Yesterday I had the, oh, and Kras. And Lusbo. Wow. Kras almost went out the front and Lusbo almost out the side there. The 2 touched at the top of the hill. Kras chasing the dirt around the outside. He'll feel that he maybe got squeezed there by Lusbo, and then Lusbo just lit it up all by himself as he came out of the right-hander at the top of the hill. Kras looking to try something else. It's the first time he's tried that line. He might use it to good effect next time around, though, if he's not already found his way past Lusbo. Anderson has got a bit of a breather, but Kras is looking dangerous here. He's on the prowl. He's the rider from the Netherlands. He wants to get that championship lead back. He wants to go back to Latvia in a week's time with that red plate on the front of that white KTM of his. Four laps complete. And Anderson is now 1.1 seconds clear. Kellett second, Lusbo third, Kras fourth. Watch this, Kras went around the outside. Lusbo put the squeeze on him here. Yeah, he knew he was there. Kras lucky, he's got long legs. Was able to put a dab down, but sometimes in those instances you can tweak an ankle or a knee, but looks like he's all right. Still, 2.5 seconds separating the top 4 riders as they hit the line just a few corners ago. Right, Kras, a little bit more wary this time around, looking to chase the dirt. Looks like there's good drive and good grip all the way around this track, but probably nowhere near enough water for this early in the day. They're going to need to get the hoses out again a little later on. These guys will be pleased that they're not racing in a mud bath, though, this early on in the day. Right, Kras, pay attention to him. He had a good line around the outside here last time around, but he's not close enough to execute a move on Lusbo, so he goes in, sits in the same line. Anderson just pretty much riding a nice central line, trying to control anything that happens left or right, and making it difficult for Kellett to find a way through. Very slippery corner, this one here, on the exit to that Monster Energy step down. Probably one of the most fun parts of the racetrack, though, that left, the tabletop, and then up onto the plateau. Here's Václav Kovar. Gives you an idea how far behind he is in 5th place. Damage limitation for the Czech rider on the gas. Making their way towards the end of lap 5. Still, not a lot in it. Kellett sets the fastest lap of the race. Looked like he was almost through the front door there as well. Got a slight kick on the finish line jump. 43.6 for him. Anderson, 44.2. Half a second between those two as they hit the line that time around. Lusbo was a 43.9.4 and a 43.9.8 for Kras. Anderson definitely getting out of bed on the right side of the tracks this morning. Kras looking dangerous again, closing back in on the Husky ahead of him. Ah, stunt man. Oh, he'll be at the berry shop tomorrow. Todd Kellett. All out of plums apparently, but he'll suck it up and try and get his head back down and go after these guys again. He's got 15 minutes and try and execute another pass on Anderson if he can. Got ahead of him early yesterday, as early as the first turn. Lusbo, you know what, that is a sweet line there. Launching back downhill. Longer and steeper than it looks as well. Again, all the way through here, up onto this final plateau. Yesterday, it was very tricky. Deep on the inside where these guys are. And then if you came through there, double, over onto the right-hand side, you can just get over the double, but it's not easy when it starts to dry out and the loose ground starts to pick back up. But we're starting to lose this intensity now between these guys as Anderson sets the fastest lap of the race. He's gone more than a second clear of Kellett. And 3.2 off the back now is Mike Crass on the EcoMax Fuels KTM. So as it stands right now, Kellett still going to win the overall here today in Russia on 47. That's a 25 points for a win yesterday, 22 potentially today. Then Brad Anderson on 45, a third yesterday, 20 points, and a potential win today on 25. And then Lusbo, a second and a third, 22 and 20, will give him 42, and Crass on 36, which means that Anderson will be back in control of the championship lead at 163 to 155. But do not count out this guy in third, and Dero Lusbo. He's had enough of eating rocks off the rear wheel of Kellett's Yamaha. Oh, hello, Mike Crass rejoined the party. Everybody, Constantina's back together again towards the end of lap 7. It's easy to jump offline there, you know, on that track, part of the track. Sometimes you can get a kick over to the left and you can land in all the long grass. Right, see what the times are this time around. Anderson was a 43.0. Only half a second slower than his fastest lap of the race this time around, but a 42.7. Todd Kellett, the only guy to break into the 42s as he goes after the number 1 of Anderson on the Verdi Substance KTM. And Kellett definitely got the bit between his teeth. Yes, we have a back marker out there. Francesco Galligari, he's in 11th place. Blue flag's being waved for the Italian. But Kellett closer to Anderson, perhaps more than he has been this whole race. Would it have been better to go around the outside there instead of locking up on the single on the inside? We've got Yuri Lukash just keeping out of the way here. Knows the leaders are coming through. He's also been blue flagged. Right, can Kellett get the good drive like he had through here earlier on in the race? No, he's going the safety option. Goes around the berm at the end of the straight, and Lusbo able to close in again on that part of the racetrack. Guys are absolutely locked together and putting 100% trust and faith in the guy ahead of them, but they don't mess up. Lap times 1:42.772 for these guys. Yesterday's fastest was a 42.9, so Kellett taking the fastest lap of the weekend so far. Still can't find a way through though. Austria versus Japan, KTM versus Yamaha, but 2 Brits leading the way. An Estonian in the background on a Husqvarna. And Crass, 2.5 seconds. So Lusbo sets the fastest lap this time around, 42.727. So 500ths quicker than Kellett's time from a lap ago. And Kellett doing his best to find his way past Anderson. Crass trying to get back in contact here with these guys ahead of him, and he's doing a good job of it as well. He sets his fastest lap of the race at 42.8. But still not able to do anything about the 3 guys ahead of him. At the moment, Crass is going to be off the podium in 4. Kellett just coming in a front end heavy. Again, Lusbo, he likes that inside line. It's great when racing's as close as this, though. These guys will be out there having a blast. Don't have a lot of budgets to come racing, but they do go. And when they are racing, they do enjoy it, but not easy to come somewhere like this. Kellett even said that yesterday, just him and his girlfriend here. Parents couldn't afford the trip over. But he's going the long way round of Anderson here. It's going to be side by side. Oh, the two Brits almost take each other out. But Kellett gets his wheels on the ground before Anderson. But Ando squeezes him to the outside. Unknown territory for Kellett. Going on virgin ground there. Again gets squeezed at the top of the hill. As they fall into this off-cambered left. Quick flick right. Ground falling away twice as they start the descent downhill. Right, he's got good drive here, though, hasn't he, Kellett? Still going to win the overall, but if Lusbo finds his way through, he'll lose a couple of points. Lusbo will go to 44, Ando will be on 45, but Kellett will drop to 45 as well. Mike Kress at the fastest lap that time around, while these two were tearing chunks off of each other. 42-1, almost in the 41s. And he's right back there in contention, look. Oh, Kellett. Goes tight, he realised he made a mistake. Didn't want to leave the door open by going into that second line. In that tight right. He's let Anderson off the hook once again. Just under 8 minutes plus 2 laps to go here. Lap times 1:42s or thereabouts. In fact, they're all in the 42s that time around. Well, it's Kress getting ready to take all these guys by surprise here in the next handful of laps or so. 17 laps in race one. We're at the we've just done 10 now, so it's going to be about 7 to go. First race of the day here on MXGPTV.com. The final race of the weekend for the European 250 two-stroke championships presented by FMF Racing, and it's Brad Anderson who continues to lead the way on his Verdi Substance KTM. Todd Kellett on his Yamaha, the winner from race one yesterday, is in second, and Dero Lusbo is in third on the A1M Husqvarna. He was second in race one yesterday. Both guys trying to find their way past the number one, the defending champion, the new championship leader after race one yesterday, Brad Anderson on the Verdi Substance KTM, who was at third in that first outing. Kress there in the background, fourth in race one, looking like it's going to be fourth in race two, unless he can pull something out of that little magic bag of his in the next 6.5 minutes plus 2 laps. Václav Kovar is about 24 seconds behind these guys in third. He may have picked up a slight niggle yesterday when he cased a jump. Kellett right back in the mix again, has a better sweep through that corner. Anderson riding defensive, and a slight bubble there for the number one. Has that given Kellett a bit of a lifeline? Needs to get over to Anderson's left here at the top of the hill. Oh, that corner, the rocks are just starting to come through again. Kress has fallen off the back of these guys. It was just over 2 seconds for the Dutchman, but another mistake possibly means that he's going to be around 3 seconds or so behind these guys now as they hit the start of lap 12. Yeah, 3.3 seconds. And Lusbo now the fastest lap of the race, the 42.079. Oh! Kellett almost tearing off the tear-offs there of Brad Anderson as he came through with his front wheel. And I think Anderson there was gesticulating. It was like, dude, you don't need to jump into me. Watch this here. Kellett just got some serious distance over the jump here, and he comes into land, almost pulls a tear off there of Anderson's helmet with his front rubber. Watch Anderson shaking his head there as he hit the next jump. Not the first time he overjumped there, Kellett, by the way. Oh, and again on the landing. Right, and breathe. And get ready to go again. Just under 5 minutes, plus 2 to go. EMX2T two-stroke. Presented by FMF Racing. Race 2. And Lusbo looking to go for the inside of Kellett. If he's half a bite closer next time around, or any time. Whoa! Wonder if he lost a few spokes in that little encounter there, Lusbo, because he was precariously close to the foot pegs of the Brit. Watch this. Goes in. Let's take a look. No. Just snagged his knee brace instead. That'll be handing an advantage to Anderson. He was 2/10 quicker over the line than Kellett last time around, but Ando will have a bit of a gap here. Maybe 3/4 of a second, 0.9. 1.5. Good work, fella. All of a sudden, the top three now 2.6 seconds apart. Anderson wants to keep his goggles intact. He's gone 1:41.7, the fastest man on track. Crass, 4.3 seconds down. Has he got anything left in the tank? Anderson may have just broken free here. And he might be looking good for second overall and a race win. Because Kellett has definitely lost the toe. He's going to have to go above and beyond now to get himself back onto the rear wheel of the number one. Yeah, the top four all of a sudden. There's Pierfilippo Bertuzzo. He's in 7th place. He's about 5 seconds down on Charlie Putnam, actually. You just hear him dragging up the hill on his RFX KTM, the other side of the Patron banner here. Of course, Patron, the title sponsor of the MXGP of Russia this weekend here at All In Up. Where is the 91 of Putnam? Actually, just around here, just out of this next right-left combo. Can hear him. Here he is. So number 91, Charlie Putnam, the RFX KTM, powered by PAR Homes. Looking pretty good here. He's going to be good enough for 5th overall. That's going to be 2 lots of 6th place finishes, give him 30 points. And Charlie Putnam, number 91, will move up to 13th position in the championship. He was 22nd before he came here this weekend. Here's Václav Kovar in 5th place, but 31 seconds behind Mike Crass in 4th. Crass, of course, is in the fight, or he was in the fight for a potential race win, or certainly any one of the top 3 positions, but he is now 5.1 seconds off of Lusbo in 3rd. 5.1 seconds off the lead, Anderson, sorry, and about 3 seconds off of Lusbo in 3rd. Here is Anderson. Going to be 3 laps to go, because they're going to go past the finish line with plenty of time. What was the gap? 1.1 between Ando and Kellett, about 1.7 between Kellett and Lusbo as they hit the line last time around. There's Rob Holyoke on the E2T racing team Husqvarna. He is in 9th place. 7th in race 1 yesterday. Right, 1.1 gap becomes 1.2. Kellett was broken free from Lusbo just to the tune of a couple of 10ths of a second. Ando can't afford to switch off yet, though. 42.6, 42.7. Not much in it, but slight mistake in a corner, and Kellett will be there, ready to pounce on Ando's lead. Getting good drive up over that first of 2 summits. Still pretty warm out on track today. You can see the flags blowing in the wind, but that's a warm breeze, not a cool breeze. Very humid here at Orlenok in Russia for this fourth round of the European two-stroke 250 Championship presented by FMF Racing. The riders will be feeling it, that's for sure. Canando, hang on. He's got Kellett. Oh, listen to the brakes. The rear brakes working overtime. You talk about squeaky bum time. Squeaky brakes on these things. Kellett has closed down that gap. Slightly less than 1.2. What was a lap ago. Less than a second now. 0.6 of a second. Kellett is right back in it. And Luzbo hasn't gone with him. Lost another couple of tenths in third place. So all of a sudden, Kellett has got second or third or fourth wind, actually. He's had several attempts at trying to find his way past Brad Anderson, but all to no avail. Oh! Kellett lost a handful of time there. How did he not fall down at that point? The thing came so far around on him, he caught that bank. And that's the problem, using that part of the racetrack there, you're trying to use all of the track. Where it's been ripped, it's obviously the safer option, but if it's a smooth bank, but the problem with this place here, there's so much rocky edge poking out from the side of the banks there, you're running the risk, and Kellett almost bit the dirt there on that uphill as a result of that, and he's now put himself under intense pressure from Andero Luzbo, who at the start of this penultimate lap was probably thinking, okay, third is probably where it's at for me. I'm going to have to be content with that. But if he finds his way past Kellett, he hands the overall to Anderson. That was a major warning sign for Todd Kellett that time around. So as they look to click off lap 16, watch Kellett here. He goes out to the bank a little bit more so than he probably wanted. Oh. Kept it pinned though. So Anderson leads the way, Kellett second, Luzbo third, and these two are fighting over 6th and 7th place. So Bertuzzo now up into back into 6th place. So Putnam found his way by briefly. Right, we are into the final lap. Anderson looking good for a race win here. And with it, an 8-point lead in the championship. He'll take the championship leaders red plate to Latvia in a week's time. And that is a nice little buffer to have, because we know what Mike Krass can do in the sand. We also know what Anderson can do in the sand, but even still, Krass will probably be looking forward to the sand more than Anderson. And if you've got 6 points and you go 1-2, 1-2, you level up the championship. But with 2 wins potentially by Krass next week, let's say, and 2 seconds by Anderson, it still means that he will have the red plate going into Imola a little bit later on in the year, August. But Verdi Substance, KTM, #1, Brad Anderson, the defending champion. He's already picked up 3 race wins this year. He's looking at win #4 here and 2nd overall in Russia. But Anderson will win the race, and he will take the championship leaders red plate. But Kellett, what a fantastic performance for him. A win yesterday, a 2nd today. He is going to be your overall winner. He got his first race win yesterday, and he picks up his first ever overall victory in a European championship round. He said yesterday it was expensive, too expensive for his parents to come over here, so just him and his girlfriend making the trip. And it was a last-minute decision to come here as well. Turns out it was a good one, because he has put himself 142 in 3rd in the championship. And that's 13 points behind Mike Krass all of a sudden. So a good decision, a costly one, but one that was worthwhile, and it will be the British national anthem that will play out of the speakers here. But anyway, Todd Kellett making his way to the winner's enclosure to speak to Lisa Leyland. He'll need to get himself cooled down, but here he is, ready to go with Lisa Leyland.
Congratulations, a weekend of firsts for you. First race win, first podium, and first overall in very tough conditions out there.
Oh, I can't believe it. It's so hard out there. It's one of the toughest tracks I've ever ridden, especially in this heat for an Englishman. It's really difficult, but I just want to thank all my sponsors. It's been awesome. It's a massive push, and I can't thank you enough, and especially my girlfriend. I love you. It's amazing, and my family. It's perfect.
Great job, Todd. Thank you.
The front mud-splattered number plate of Todd Kellett says it all. Difficult conditions for both rider and machine, actually, because of the heat and the humidity and where we are, but somehow he dug deep enough to bring it home. Second in race 2, a win yesterday. He takes his first ever European Championship win. And Todd Kellett, welcome to the top step of the podium, my friend. So official confirmation then of EMX250 two-stroke, race 2. Brad Anderson wins it on the Verdi Substance KTM. Todd Kellett on the Yamaha second. Andero Luzbo for A1M Husqvarna. Mike Krass, Ecomax Fuels KTM. And then the gas of Václav Kovar, Pierre Filippo Bertuzzo, Charlie Putnam on the RFX KTM, powered by PAR Homes. Then we had Max Bulow, Rob Hollyoak, E2T Racing Husqvarna, Yuri Lukash and Francesco Galligari on the Maddie Racing Husqvarna. And Kellett takes the overall by 2 points over Anderson. Luzbo on the podium in third. Krass will have to make do with fourth overall here this weekend in Russia. Brad Anderson, your new championship leader, by 8 points over Mike Krass as we head to Latvia in 1 week's time. Kellett now up to fourth and closing in on Krass. What will be an interesting fight for that second place or top 3 positions in a week's time in Latvia. Charlie Putnam moving up 9 places this weekend in the championship chase to 13. KTM leading the way in the Manufacturers' Championship though. Yamaha, Husqvarna, Gas and Honda. Lukash picking up all 23 points, 10th overall for Honda this weekend. It's all gone quiet over there. Pretty warm here though. Getting ready for the podium ceremonies here. Then here in Orlinok, it's round 4 of the European two-stroke championship presented by FMF Racing. And well, today turned out to be a lot better than yesterday in terms of the action out on track.
Уважаемые участники, уважаемые гости, все participants here, просим пройти на церемонию награждения Victory Ceremony MX2T.
Right, podium time then, and third overall, making his first visit to the podium in 2019. And there's obviously some Estonian support for him here as well, the A1M Husqvarna of Andero Luzbo. Tough weekend here, especially with the hot conditions, but Andero Luzbo picking up a second and a third. Brad Anderson second overall for Verdi Substance KTM, with a third and a win, but standing on the top step of the podium for the first time, Todd Kellett. He had to dig deep, said it's probably the toughest place he's ever come to with the track and the conditions, the heat. It'll be girlfriend as team trophy winner. Proper family affair, that one, isn't it? Great to see. Mum and Dad probably in tears at home on the sofa, and rightly so. Andrei Markov, the Krasnodar Ministry of Sports, hands a third-place trophy to Andero Luzbo, and to second overall, Brad Anderson. Todd Kellett took his first race win yesterday. Him and Brad Anderson. I mean, you can't not like Todd Kellett. He's one of the smiliest, most likable people in the paddock. And Anderson was getting a bit of a head shake on when those two came too close to comfort, but none of it intentional. Alexei Kurashev, the Russian Ministry of Sports, handing the winner's trophy to Todd Kellett, and the winner's team trophy to his girlfriend there as well. Quick podium hat for Kellett. But just one more thing to do here, and that's obviously the championship leader's red plate. Goes back from the EcoMax Fuels KTM of Mike Crass and back onto the Verdi Substance KTM of Brad Anderson. Eddie Hurd on hand to deliver that swiftly as always. Two Brits on the podium here in Russia, and an Estonian rounding out the top three in third. National anthem time for Kellett and Anderson. Why not?
The national anthem of Great Britain.
Todd Kellett and Brad Anderson first and second here this weekend, and Darren Luzbo third overall here in Russia. We'll talk to the top three in a few moments when they've got busy with the fizzy, and we took a look at some of the best action from that second EMX two-stroke race.
Todd Kellett, congratulations. Smiles all around. What a weekend for you. Let's talk about that second race. You tried all you could to pass Ando. A couple of near misses along the way as well, but you just couldn't get the job done there.
Yeah, I really wanted to go 1-1. I felt I could pass him. We were too similar, and then I thought, you know, I'd just try and hold off Lesbo as long as I can. And if I can hold him off, I know I had the win. So it was a bit of a yin and yang, but it worked out, and I'm over the moon.
Great job, congratulations. Second overall today we have Brad Anderson. Brad, a third and a first, battle of the Brits there in that second race. Couple of near misses, like I said, there to Todd. But most importantly, you've got that red plate.
Yeah, this is what we're working for, obviously, to try and keep this red plate now. And the first race yesterday was difficult because I didn't get the best of stats, and Kellett and Luzbo got away. And I was trying my hardest to close the gap, but it just seemed as though I couldn't do it, so I had to settle for third. But today, I knew I had to try and get out the gate and try and stop in front for the points for the championship. I'd just like to thank Verdi Sports Substance, KTM, and everyone who helps us. Crispin Mechanic, my dad who's come and helped, and everyone, thank you very much. Hopefully we'll keep this next weekend.
Good job, thanks, Brad. Third overall today, we have Andero Luzbo. Andero, a second and a third, a solid weekend, and your first podium of the year.
Yeah, it's okay. I really wanted to win this GP, but yeah, what you can do. This is the first podium this year, so I can be happy, I think. Next up is Kegums. It's like my home race, so we will see there. But yeah, huge thanks to my parents, my girlfriend, my team, and all the sponsors and friends, and thanks.
Great job, thank you.
Yeah, next week, Latvia. about as close to home as he will get to a home round for Andero Lusbo on the A1M Husqvarna, but finally he gets his first podium of the season. Third overall here at round 4, and for Lusbo, it was round 3 last year. He got the 2 podiums last year, second overall in Russia. Brad Anderson back on the podium, and also back in control of the championship as well. Third and the first here this weekend, good enough for the Verdi Substance KTM rider to take back the championship leader's red plate and lead going into round 5 in Latvia in a week's time by 8 points. But a fantastic weekend though for Todd Kellett. Takes his first race win yesterday, his first overall today. All of a sudden he's in the hunt for the title. He's just a few points off of second and not that far off the lead as well. Congratulations to all 3 riders, especially Todd Kellett, your overall winner here in Russia. Right, we're going to take a break. MX2 warm-up is out on track in a moment, but 11:25 we will be back here, so in about an hour's time. We'll see you then for EMX250 Race 2.